All right, we're live on air now. I've got Dave here, and we're going to talk about our Yowie Times magazine that we've been doing for the last few months. And we'll just ask Dave how his latest article is going. I haven't seen it yet, so because we're going to Wee Jasper for our Yowie research night at the end of the month. I'm hoping that I've told all the article writers to get this stuff in early so I can get it all edited and put to page. So how is your latest article going, Dave?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, no, mate. It'll be there by the deadline. You can be guaranteed.
Yeah, I know that. I'll just stare at you. The last one was really good. I actually come out good on the page. Like I had the,
Yeah.
I'm able to get on a program called paint.net. And what you do, you can put the picture, what you got, and it takes the background away. But sometimes it gets a bit difficult when it's not a clear, defined black line on the outside, and you've got to physically just go bit by bit with little circles and squares, and then make the background into a checker, and then you just press delete, and then it makes it like saved. I just want to turn this sound down on my phone so it doesn't ding ding ding. That no, the articles are going pretty well. I'm getting a lot of responses from people liking the witness reports, especially if they're ones that people haven't like read or heard of yet. So that's what I try to find as much as I can. I'm always out looking for reports, new ones. People just like to, and people just like to read them also because if they've had an encounter, they want to see what other people have said, and just so that they just don't think, oh, am I crazy? Did I see that, or did I witness that? So I've just got two from Australia at the moment. One of the guys is going to email me the story, and the other one I have got, but I've just got to put it to page. And I'm just after some Bigfoot ones from America. They're always good as well to see what the comparison is between the Australian Yowie and the Bigfoot, and exactly what they see and hear and what happens. So that's always good. And Simon's article, Around the World with Simon, a lot of people always comment on his article. So yeah, I'm always telling him, Simon, you got a lot of followers. Everyone likes your article. So he's like, yeah, his head's getting bigger by the month. Nah, he's all right. He's all good. What else have we got? Yowie evidence. If anyone's got any evidence, footprints, tree breaks, tree bites, anything that you can find that's just a bit out of the ordinary, that'd be good. We've got the Yowie evidence.
I've got a footprint to send you.
Okay, what I'll do, I'll use it in the next month's one because I've already made up the page of some evidence that me and Adam found, I think about a year ago. He found some evidence, and then we went camping in the area maybe 6 months later, and we found a few things during the night that was pretty weird. So I've put that on there. But what you do, email me your picture, australianyowie@gmail.com. You know it. But everything that you want to send to me, anyone, send it to there. Then I can't mix it up with anything else. Once I've got it there, it's safe. I can't lose it, and then I can put it to page on Word, and then edit it, put it to on the actual publisher, make a background, set it up. So I don't know if I've seen your footprint. Have I seen it, or is it a new one?
Oh, I think I put it on Facebook briefly, but I didn't make a lot out of it. Like it was a single footprint on where I was setting a camera up on a little creek, a little unnamed creek, and it's as if something was going across the creek, and it stepped into the soft sandy loam type of thing on the edge of the creek, and then the next step would have been up onto grassed an area where it wouldn't leave any footprint. So it's just a single print, and I thought it was interesting enough to take a couple of photos of. And as you know, mate, I don't mention a footprint if it's just what they tend to call on YouTube an impression. And
How wide was the
you know,
creek?
most of them look like bandicoot scratchings to me, but
Yeah,
you
all
know, I've got
over.
to be able to, yeah, just something scratched and just happened to be into the vague shape of a footprint. But yeah, no, this one was a definite impression of weight leaving a footprint. So yeah, I thought it was interesting enough, and it's only the second footprint I've ever found because the ground around here
Very
is
hard.
not conducive for footprints at all. You'd have to, you know, the first one was literally where something had stepped into a puddle.
The creek you found it. The creek you found it in. How wide was the creek? Like, so you're saying it
Oh
was
no,
like?
it's only I could step over the creek.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's only a little mountain creek. A lot of little mountain creeks in my area. There's a lot of water about, a lot of wildlife. Yeah, so you have to be very careful. I think it's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful national park. It's unspoilt, and yeah, it's just perfect Yowie habitat, really.
Yeah, it's the same as my area up at the Blue Mountains. There's so many areas that, you know, even the locals don't go in. So I tend to go down to where like the creeks are, and then I'll follow them as far as I can. And that's where I usually set up my gear. So yeah, so you're saying it was like 1 footprint in, and then it just stepped across whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah. It stepped off hard ground onto soft ground, and then off onto harder ground again. Well, it's not hard ground. It's covered with a native grass, and you know, a bit tufty, and yeah, there's like you just don't leave footprints in it.
So how big
Yeah.
is this print? You like?
Well, I'm a size 12, and it would have been an inch bigger than me.
Okay.
So I've got a big foot, and it was bigger than my print. And I didn't take a tape up with me, and I know I'm going to get rubbish by everybody come sundry having a go at me for not carrying a tape measure with me. But
I've got something for you. Wait, I've got something for you. It's in here somewhere, I think.
oh, it's in there somewhere, you think?
Yeah, look. When we get a wee Jasper, I'm going to give this to you. All right. I found it. Right? And it's a tape measure. I've already got a small one here somewhere. But yeah, you can have this one. It's only 3.
Thank you very much, mate.
Right. So if you say you haven't got a tape measure, there you go.
Yep.
There it is. Nothing wrong with
All right, I've got a tape measure now.
it.
Yeah, no, I do have it. I do have a tape measure, mate. I just didn't have it with me at the time. I really wasn't expecting to find anything, to be honest, because, like I said, it's only the second footprint I've found in 7 years.
But the tape measure, I always take it because you never know when you're going to find one. So that's why I always take one and put it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you know, I'm really thinking about getting like a small bag. It might be a bit bigger than this. Put a certain amount of that plaster of Paris in there, and then just have a bottle of water. And if you find one, usually you're at a creek anyway. Have the plaster of Paris already in there. What you're gonna do is put the water in there, mix it up. If it's not, you know, thin enough or mixed properly, get a stick, mix it, add a bit more water, and then just pour it straight in. So I've seen that.
Yeah.
People doing that, so that's a good idea to do as well. I've got to do it myself. But we're getting back to the Yowie times now. I think I've made 9 pages of the next issue for October. So I've just finished the front cover, contents page, trail of the month, Yowie evidence, homonyms with Harry. So unfortunately, I didn't save it like I told you, and I had to redo it again. But other than that, no, it's going pretty well. We're on about 142 people
subscribers.
Yeah, it seems to, like, I'll get the odd one here and there. you know, I wake up in the morning and, you know, people from America, because I advertise it on the Facebook pages there, and I'll get, yeah, I want to join. But mainly as soon as I advertise it for the next month, so I usually do it a week and a half before it's going to come out, and then it jumps by about 20-25 on average. So every month it goes
Well,
up about.
it's about the only information that comes out of Australia. You're the only one I know that's collating this information, mate. I mean, even the AYR site. I don't know. It just seems a bit dead to me at the moment. You know, there's nobody actually posting any research on it.
Yeah,
except for yourself, and occasionally I'll pop something on it, but not many people are actually putting anything substantial on there. So
I think
in some respects, the Yowie Times is, you know, filling a hole in the community.
Yeah, I think AYR, a lot of people that were doing it years ago, you know, probably changed jobs, or their kids they've had kids or something, and they just can't get out as much as they used to. That's what I hear. A lot of them, like, they want to get out, but they just haven't got time, you know. So, and that does take up time. Like when I drive to Blue Mountains and to go where I want to go, it's like about an hour, and then I've got to have the time to do it. And then, you know, just pick a spot where I want to go, and there's a lot of time in planning. So a lot of people, they've run out of planning, and you know, they still keep involved and do the odd day here and there, and then some of the guys, they got to let their missus has got to let them go out. But yeah, like you said, it's the only thing that's out there at the moment, of its type, especially in Australia. I haven't seen anything like a magazine like that in America. The Americans are into the radio, you know, they're into doing the interviews and that on the radio. So I see a lot of channels on the radio. But yeah, this was what can I say? It was like something in my mind for a while, to try and put stuff to paper and make it, you know, decent for people to read and want to come back the next month and keep subscribing, you know. So the first
Well,
one
that's
was,
certainly happening.
yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger. Like the first one I did in June. It was just after we went and got the weed house at Marramara National Park, and I did it over the weekend, 6 pages, and it was like to see how it went. And then there was a lot of people like, yeah, this is pretty good, you know. And then I'd never used Microsoft Publisher. That's the program I used to do it. Pretty simple program once you know it, but it's a bit difficult if you don't like anything. And my wife had used it before, so in the first issue after that, which was July, yeah, we're pretty much doing it together. And after that, I've basically been doing it myself. And then I just get her to help proofread it. We use some programs for grammar and that checking. So, but basically all the guys that write all the programs are pretty good with their grammar anyway. There's only a few things here and there that you pick up. Just, of course, if they've done it on their phone or something, the phone picks out a different word than what they really want. So other than that, it's all pretty good. Yeah, it's only getting better and better. I love doing it.
You should mention to people too about the new Facebook group for the Yowie Times if they want to if they want to submit any information or readers' photos or reports. Or even general articles.
Yeah, anything. Basically, yeah, it's called the Yowie Times after the magazine. It's public. You just ask to join, and you can join. And if you've got anything or want to ask anyone about any kind of article, one of the guys that do the articles will answer your questions. If you want them to specifically talk about something, they might be able to accommodate you. But yes, basically anything. I'd rather have anything that they want to send me. Let me know on the Yowie Times and then email me it. So then I can put it on the next issue or one of the upcoming issues. But yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me, Dave. Yeah. So
No, I just thought it was. I thought it was very good. It was a good idea. It's it almost makes the Yowie Times interactive. So
Yeah,
that's not bad
yeah,
for a new. That's not bad for a newsletter, is it?
yeah. And then like if you're in a different time zone than us in Australia, you could be the other side of Australia or in America or Canada or wherever. Yeah, you can get on Facebook any time of the day or night and ask a question or say, yeah, I've got a report. Dan, and I know the person's name might be Jim or Bob or whatever, and says I'm going to send it in. And every like witness report I get, there'll be, once we get it, we just edit the article. Basically, sometimes just to write some sentences a bit better than what anyone's done, and then we send it back to the people and then say, look, is this okay? Have a read, and then every time everyone say, yeah, it's perfect, and then I post it. I don't post it without sending it back to the people first and saying, this is what we've done. That we don't change the
Yeah.
story. It's just, sometimes using a bit better words than what's been written down. And so it makes it a good read for people that are subscribing. I need pictures for the reader's snapshot. The last one we had was you, Dave, doing your, there he is, he's got his little dog. You call him Yowie? I might get a dog and call it Yowie one day. Yeah, so we had you through the bush doing your, while you're doing researching. So that was pretty good because, we've had Adam Davies had a good picture of himself at Washington. And then we had another picture of Dave, he's Sweeney. He came out with me and we went hiking through Marramara Park and he took a good picture of a trail. And we've had yours, and then we had another one of myself and a fellow researcher walking down a trail. So anything, as long as you're out there doing some research and you think there's a good picture of maybe a nice picturesque creek bed or something, mountain ranges, anything. If you want to send it in, I haven't got any at the moment for this month. So anyone has got a picture for Reader Snapshot, first people to send it in, I'll put it on. Yeah, send it in. So I'm basically looking for Reader Snapshot pictures, witness reports for Bigfoot and for Yowies, Yowie evidence, and every month. So if we get a couple, I'm always chasing them every month. So I've got my tentacles out everywhere. So yeah, it's basically it.
Have you approached any Sasquatch groups?
Yeah. I've actually just posted today on Facebook on about 4 groups, and there is people out there. There's a lot of people out there that have got reports, because the last time I was on one of the Sasquatch groups, I think it's the Sasquatch Chronicles, one of the ladies said, if you had an encounter, this is my first time on the group, this is what happened. It was like 400 or 500 comments, and they were all people saying yes. So I kind of got on there and said, yeah, if you want to tell your story. And I had one guy from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And he told his story. He goes, I didn't really see anything, but it was what I heard and how it walked around me and everything, and how heavy it was, and that. He goes, it was on private.
I totally agree. I've had it happen to me. There's it's just as solid an encounter nearly as seeing something. I personally, I can be walking along through the bush and I can hear something belting along through the bush next to me, and I know it's a kangaroo, or I know it's a wombat. I can just tell. The encounters that people have where they hear this bipedal walking going along through the bush, you can definitely tell the difference. I can. And I think that's a solid encounter, and I like hearing about those encounters just as much as visual sightings, because the visual sightings are a lot rarer. Even yourself, you've only had a couple over the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh, I've only had 2, and
yeah.
I was going out every weekend at one stage, and I just happened one. Well, because the first one I had was the small one, but it was because it wanted to follow me. not me trying to get it. And he just, stopped in an area where he could see me better, and I just happened to stop and thought I would just wait for it, and it was already at the place. It was already at that area before I got there, and it was looking at me. And then I thought it was like something else, but it ended up when I seen it move and blink, and then I was like, oh. So yeah, it's no, it's always good, to read new, interesting, reports, and everyone's got their own way of telling it, and we try to keep it the way that the person's told it. We don't change anything of the report itself. We don't change anything that happened. Everything that's written, it's from the person's point of view, what they saw. Like basically for an encounter, we want, what you heard or saw or anything like that, how you were feeling at the time, why it made you feel the way you felt. Like for instance, when we went to Marramara and we got the house, while me and Adam were like, had the biggest smiles on our faces because these things like making these massive, like the sound recordings don't do it justice to how loud this was. People say, oh, it's a dog or a dingo. It's not a dingo. Dingoes don't sound like that. And if you were there, you would say a dog cannot get this loud. It was so loud. It was like I had a megaphone that was like, anyway, my wife had never experienced it. So she had the spade out and she was stoking the fire, and we're trying to tell her to be quiet while we're trying to get these housed. And then there was a couple camping about 100 meters from us. They'd already got to bed. They physically woke up and started a big fire, and then they had to torch out the bush because they could hear something walking around. Since then, the one of the couple, they've joined the Blue Mountains group and wants to come out with us because they're interested in it, and they freaked out. And I said to them the next day, we had a talk, and we said, oh, did you get scared last night at the house? And he brought his wife up, or her girlfriend, and said, that's no dog, that's no person, that was too loud. He goes, I said, oh, did you get a bit freaked out? They said, yeah, that's when we started the fire. He goes, we were like freaking, we were thinking, what did you guys think? And we're like, yeah, we're here looking for yowies, and look, we've got our sound recorders and we've got our night visions, and they're like, oh, cool. So having us here, that kind of made them feel a bit better. And then, so, hearing people's reports and how they react as well, the feeling, what you get. Some people are kind of, oh, yeah, if they're researchers, we're looking for that, but if you're not, and you only happen to see something that you think it's not really, science says it's not there, and it is, and you see it, some people react and they, they kind of, can't understand what's this thing doing here when it's not supposed to be real, and they can't handle it. They kind of
well, it is frightening, mate. Even where we're going for this Yowie research night, well, I'd like to call it an expedition because it's going to go for 3 days.
It is expedition, yeah.
But the encounters that I've heard about from this area, they always describe this situation of fear. The one that jumps to mind is a group of fellows whose car broke down, and they were coming back down just to the campground, the main campground in Wee Jasper. And that's when they started hearing something following them along through the bush. And it's that classic situation of hearing it, knowing that it's not an animal. And then as the situation went on, after about 15 or 20 minutes, he climbed up onto the high bank of the road, shined his torch, which he said was a very weak torch, and that's when he saw it. And it was looking back at him. And at the same time, another one started coming up the opposite direction towards the same location, and then they both disappeared. But that stalked them for some time. And I know what that's like because I've been stalked with another researcher, which I'm going to put in the Yowie Times. That'll be a report I'll put in there, so I won't mention it here.
Yeah, I think that report you were talking about, the one about the guys breaking down, I've read that one in the book that Paul Cropper did, and the other guy, I think I'll just show you. Got it here. Yeah, this one. It's in
Yep.
this one. So they're the guys that did it. Paul Cropper and Tony Healy. They've been doing interviews for a long time, and it's just jam-packed full of stories. It has, 200 or 300 cases, and that one's in there. I actually read it because there's a couple in Wee Jasper, and there's a bridge there, and actually one was hanging on the bridge, and the guy said it jumped off the bridge and he nearly ran it over. So if you haven't got that book, it's a good book to buy.
But there's like 4 or 5 different encounters that I've heard of there, mate. It's a really active area. So, I hold out a bit of hope with it, especially if we're organised enough.
Yeah, the reason why we're going down is because a couple of guys researching that area, and yourself and someone else, have had a few weird things happen. So they've taken time to go a couple of hours drive to meet us up at the Blue Mountains. So I thought it'd be good to return the favour and go down there as well, and go around that area. So it's a long weekend, and we've got a few days, and hopefully it's not too warm or too cold. We get some good weather. Just make sure everyone brings
it could well be the Goldilocks zone, mate. That just not too hot, not too cold, just right.
That's right.
But the nights will still be cool because there's a bit of elevation there. I've been there when it's snowing, so it does get cool. It won't at that time of year, surely, but the day should be beautiful. Not too hot, and it's not like we're going there in the middle of summer. We're actually going there, 3 weeks into spring, or 4 weeks into spring. So it should be quite pleasant. But anyway, hopefully we get some activity there that'll get a few people writing even more articles for the Yowie Times.
Yeah, I've just had a new article. We started last month. One of the guys off AYR asked me, and I was thinking about this at the same time. He asked me, are you going to do any kind of reviewing of videos, like different like reviewing good videos to watch, ones that are okay, and ones that are like don't waste your time on. So he's called it shooting the tube. He says he used to be. It's like a surfing, saying, but it's appropriate for this. Like if it's no good, you just feel like shooting the tube. Just I've wasted 5 minutes of my life there. But so he virtually called them good, bad, and the ugly for some of them. That was for the first issue. And I told him, what about like maybe a rating system, like 5 Yowies out of 10 for a medium one, and 2 Yowies out of 10 for a bad one, and 9 out of 10 for a good one, something like that. And so he's picked them all around the world. So there's some Australian, some American, some from Europe, so whatever, so when he finds them, there was a couple there that I've watched before that he put on last of the first issue, that first article, he made. And I already thought they were bad, but there's some good ones out there. It's just, it all depends on what type of camera the person's got. If they're just using their phone camera, I know this one, if I do Facebook Live, on the screen it looks clear, but when whatever gets into here, it goes a bit blotchy. So it depends what camera.
I think that's a bandwidth thing, mate. I think that's got to do with it's not a 4K camera, and you're live streaming the video, so I think the quality dips out a bit there.
Well, I was down in the creek bed, and the light changes, coming through the trees, so that doesn't help either. The camera's trying to constantly adjust, so it just goes a bit blotchy. But anyway, that's just for my personal page, that one. But
fair enough.
So that's the new one.
All right. Well,
other than that,
shooting
the tube. Yeah. So he says he's got a few good, videos for this month. So a couple of pages there. Anyone that wants to send in anything, just email me at australianyowie@gmail.com, and I'm pretty much got my phone linked to the Gmail. So if any time you send an email in about joining, it comes on here. So a lot of people just message back saying that was really quick, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the computer at the time, and I'll just copy and paste the links for the previous copies, and then I send you the link for the current one. So yeah, everyone, I've not even had anyone message me back saying they don't want to stay subscribed. Everyone wants to, so everyone's when it gets near the time when it's coming out, especially the last one, people are sitting there. When is it going to get released? I want to see it. I want to read it. So a lot of people use it for work too. They'll read, an article a day. So when they're on the lunch break, they'll sit there on their phone and they'll just read the article. Very easy to get off the Google Drive. Anytime you want to load it and then just scroll through it. So, when you've got your phone, you can just zoom in easy. So, or tablet or computer, doesn't matter. So,
for sure. Yeah.
I would, So I'm doing the best I can possibly do with the publisher.
Oh, you're doing a great job, mate. You're doing a great job. You're a great editor. And like I said before, if you weren't doing it, there'd be nothing there. So, and everybody should get on board and start supplying you with information, because that's all, all you are is a catalyst for information.
Yeah, that's
and the more information you get, the better the editions are going to be. And, everybody needs to get on board with this. I'm not having a go at the forum or anything like that, but, sharing is caring, in this community. And it helps out other people with information, and because it's all part of a big jigsaw puzzle to me. And who knows who's got that piece that fits in,
Yeah, well, it's just another way of, getting the information out there. A lot of people can talk about it on AYR and other places, but at least here, I'm showing pictures. People are bringing evidence out, and some people that are just like learning. Like I remember when I first went out, I showed a picture and went, this is a Bigfoot track, or Yowie track. But now I look at it and go, it was just a bird scratching. And that's all it was, but it had that shape. And that's what I see today. People saying that, I found a Bigfoot print or a Yowie print, but I'm just sitting there going, no, it's just what I seen 15 years ago. It's just the bird scratching, and it just happens the bird's gone in that circular motion and it's just made that shape look like a foot, but it's not. It's not a footprint. Yeah. So, that's what.
Well, it's not an impression in the ground. It's just where the leaves have been scratched away. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it is. That's not.
But at first glance, you look at it and you go, it looks like a footprint. But it definitely isn't.
The more you see it, and then you see roots all sticking out of the ground where it's been dug in, it's a bird. You're not going to get them roots coming out of the ground if it's a footprint.
Yeah.
So most of the ground that I cover in the Blue Mountains, it's been walked on that many times, or it's got foliage and leaves and sticks on it. There's no prints anyway. The only way I'm going to get one is it's around a creek bed that's nowhere near where anyone's going to go or tourists go.
Yeah, you've got to get off the track. You've got to get off the track.
You've got to get off the trail with Dave. Yeah, see?
Off the trail with Dave, get a bit of history.
Get a bit of history. All right, well, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. And
right, mate. But anyway, you better give these addresses out again for anyone listening. The email address is Australian Yowie, one word, at gmail.com.
Yeah, at Gmail, one word.
There's a Facebook group, the Yowie Times, where you can speak to the people, the writers and the editor, and submit any information.
Yeah,
and the release date is the 7th, isn't it?
Yeah, of every month, the 7th. I picked that because it just gives time at the end of the month to finish all the articles. Sometimes guys are a bit busy, and I only get them like a day or two before the 7th. So I'm like, I'm virtually the last issue was like I finished it like 10, 11 o'clock at night the night before on the 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I promise I'll get my stuff to you early, mate.
That was all right. It was just everyone was a bit busy, and people had family members sick at the time, so you can handle it. But yeah, the Australian Yowie at gmail.com is all lowercase. It's not higher case. That's lowercase. So yeah, if you just get onto the Yowie Times on the Facebook, and I'm always asking for things on there and for articles but yeah, thanks for joining me today, Dave, and hopefully the weather treats you right down there, and I'll see you in a few weeks down at Wee Jasper, and hopefully
we get some action.
We've got, I think, about 5 or 6 guys with parabolic dishes now. After Adam had his and I used it, and everyone kind of used the ones we had. Everyone's like, they don't look that good. They look cheap, but I'll tell you what, they work for 100 meters. If something's within 100 meters, you're going to hear like a little cricket running around it. They're fantastic for like 30, 40 bucks off eBay.
Yeah.
And, I've got like a night vision, so is Adam, and then we've got Simon and Harry with the thermals, the FLIRs. So,
and Harry's bringing a FLIR.
Yeah. Yep. So,
and that's a really expensive piece of equipment, but amazing stuff. Anyway, mate, good. Sorry?
Simon's got one too, so it's not a FLIR, but I've used it. It's really good. So we're going to have 2 of them. So if anything's within the area, we're going to see it. So
yeah, no, fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, fingers
crossed.
We'll be there for a long weekend. So hopefully they're out and about. Sometimes you go to places and they're there, and the next time you go, there's nothing. So, and you don't know if you don't go.
That's right. You never know if you never go. All right, mate. Good to talk to you. Look forward to seeing you, and take care.
You too, mate. See ya.